Hello friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade Now Hallmark and my Christmas card series for this year. Today I've got this fun acetate overlay card featuring some of the new Mama Elephant products from their 10-year anniversary release. I just love how this card turned out. It is so beautiful and festive and really quite simple to put together. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to stamp my background. It's one of the main things I like to do, especially if I've got a inked and detailed background. I like to do it first so that it has an opportunity to dry. I'm taking out the MFT Christmas background text stamp, and this is a red rubber cling stamp, and I'm just going to lay it here flat on my work surface, and I'm going to ink it up with some khaki ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm using some Neenah Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock for my card base, and I'm just going to stamp that down, and I get this fun text background that's kind of splotchy and a little bit mismatched, which is totally what I was going for, because I'm going to kind of distress it and ink it up a little bit. I'm going to get my waffle flower stencil mat out here, and I'm going to be using some Vintage Photo Distress Oxide inks to kind of distress and kind of age my background. I kind of wanted it to look like an old letter, because the stamp set I'm going to be using is the new You've Got Mail stamp set from Mama Elephant, and it's all about sending letters, and I was kind of going for a background that looked like an old letter, so that's why I went with the text background. And I'm also going to pull in some ground espresso just to darken the edges a little bit more, give it some more interest, and really make it look like an old piece of paper. It's going to continue with that until I'm happy with it. I did pre-cut my card base ahead of time, so that it is cut to the size that I want for my card. It will leave a little bit of a thin frame around the outside. Next, I'm going to go in with some white gouache. Because this is a snowy scene, I wanted it to have some snow on the background as well. And I'm going to also do some snow scenes, or some snow on my other background as well. So I'm going to use my white gouache from Winsor & Newton, just going to wet it down, and I'm just going to go around the outside because the center is going to be covered up with our other images, so I was just focusing on getting that around the outside. I really wanted this to be a fun snowy scene. Once I had that all done, I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side to dry, and I'm going to work on my other panel. I am going to cut this one down a little bit later, but I wanted it to be a really soft blue to white, because I wanted the white to be where the ground would be. Now you could easily just cut a hillside and do that, but I wanted to minimize the amount of die cutting I was doing. So I just decided to go in with the Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide ink, and I'm starting at the top, keeping it kind of intense near the top, and as I come down towards the bottom, I wanted it to be a really nice light gradient so that it had the appearance of that it was the ground and it was snow covered. Just going to continue down my panel here until I'm happy and until I have right about where I think I'm going to have enough room. I'm also going to add some snow to this scene as well. And I'm going to be using, I at first was going to use this arched one. That was my whole idea, was to use the arched panel, but it wasn't quite big enough. I have the Inside Out Stitch Stacks arches from MFT, but they're not quite big enough for the scene that I was going to do. So I decided to change it out for one of their larger stitched rectangle dies, because I had a little bit more room to play with. So I had enough ink blended there, so I'm going to add some snow like I did on my other one, and I'm going to set this one off to dry as well. I really like getting these things done ahead of time so I don't have to wait around for them while I'm doing some other things. I can get my coloring finished and they have a time to dry while I'm coloring. And I love how this turns out, really nice faint blue. And now I'm going to get into my coloring. I pre-stamped my images ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. I did stamp these on some Copic friendly paper with Copic friendly ink. All of the colors that I use will be listed in the description and on the screen. I'm going to put on some music for you to enjoy, and we'll come back when I'm all finished.
Around midnight, way up high, there's an angel in the sky. The glitter and the shine, she must be divine. What a night, what a sight. Ring the bells loud and clear, have the rain Take my hand, you promised land. Here we go. I have wished upon a star. I've sent my wishes far to get you in every way. I had given up hope when the snow started falling, but then I knew it was you. Around midnight, way up high, there's an angel every night. Take my hand, you promised land. Here we go. Upon a star, I've sent my wishes far to get you in every way. I had given up hope when the snow started falling, but then I knew it was you. Around midnight, way up high, there's an angel every night. Take my hand, you promised land. Here we go. Here we go.
In the quiet evening, snow is falling, and from every window shines a light. Somewhere in the distance, drums are calling, but no one heeds their call tonight. As I walk through the streets of my old hometown, I hear sleigh bells ringing in the air. There are Christmas decorations all around. Tonight love and peace are everywhere. Christmas
coloring was all finished, I wanted to work on my acetate overlay. I have a piece of Judikins embossable window plastic here cut to fit my main panel, and I'm just going around with some of my white gouache. I probably should have done this first when I did my background so it had a better opportunity to dry longer. But again, I wasn't thinking. I kind of did this as a last minute kind of idea. You definitely could leave this overlay off and just assemble your card, and it would be just as beautiful without it. But I really wanted to try this technique. I've seen Nicole Swore do it several times, and I did something similar last year. I'll link to the video up in the iCards to something that I did similar. Now, it wasn't kind of an overlay, it was actually a part of the card. I think it was a trifold card. And I really love the way that it turns out. And I think it's a really fun technique in a way to kind of emphasize a snowy scene. So I'm just taking that same white gouache and I'm just kind of tapping it around the outside to make it look really snowy, that these critters are out at the mailbox getting ready to mail their letters to Santa. So once I have that all finished, I'm going to work on getting my actual panel assembled and get my greeting stamped here. I did choose a greeting from the same You've Got Mail stamp set, and I'm just going to heat emboss it down on this red cardstock. I believe this is some Simon Says Schoolhouse Red, and I'm going to emboss it with some Brutus Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder. And I'm just going to use a flag banner to cut that out. So once I have all of my elements together, I can get my card assembled. Excuse me. I'm going to hear some playing in the background. It's just the kids having a good time playing with some of that kinetic sand. It's a really cool kind of like, it's way better than Play-Doh. I don't like Play-Doh and I don't like slime, but kinetic sand is so much fun and the kids love it. So here you can see I have got all of my little elements cut out, and I just love the way that this looks together. I love the craft background. It's kind of like a micro scene with a background, which I think is super fun. And I really think it enhances the idea that they're sending letters to Santa or to their loved ones. I kind of imagine that they're sending them to Santa because I think I picture my children. So they always want to write letters to Santa every year. And I think it's so much fun that they are all still on the Santa train. And so am I. I love Santa. So again, excuse the noise in the background. It is just them playing and having a good time. I'm going to adhere all of my elements down flat. I'm not really going to add a whole lot of dimension because I'm going to get that dimension from that acetate overlay. I really think this stamp set is super, super cute. I love the fact that you could use it for Valentine's Day as well, not just holiday cards, or you could use it for any time of year that you want to send, a card featuring mail in itself, which I think is really fun. And all of these critters mix and match so well with all the other Mama Elephant stamps and dies and all of those things. They're really great at making sure that their images coordinate really well. I love that about Mama Elephant, and Lawn Fawn does the same thing as well, which I think is a great thing because if you want to create a scene, you can just mix and match with all the different characters and make something really, really cute. I'm gonna add the rest of my little envelopes here, and I love the craft envelopes that I created. I was trying to figure out the best color choice for my last set of envelopes, and the craft ones I think are my favorite. Now I'm going to go in and do my favorite part, which is adding all of my little details. And I'm going to add the black to their eyes with my Sakura black glaze pen to their eyes and their little noses. I really think this brightens them up and livens them up a little bit and adds that shine that you would naturally see. Again, this is a cartoon, so you could do it any way that you want. You could totally leave the highlights off and just leave them the way that they are. I really like adding these highlights. I really think it dresses up any of the images, really makes them shine, and just adds lots of character. I don't follow any kind of highlight rules, which you could totally do that. I just go with what I feel looks the best, in my opinion. I'm going to go in and add some stripes on his little scarf here just to dress it up, and I really love how this turns out. Another thing that I like to do is go around the edge of the image and add these little tick marks, and I feel like that makes it look like they are kind of fuzzy, and I love doing it with critters that would naturally have some sort of fuzz. So all of these little critters, I think, would have that fuzzy kind of outline to them. Once I was happy with that, I'm going to go in with my Stardust glitter pen I love this little pen. I always forget that I have it, and whenever Christmas comes around, I bring it out. I love it so much. It adds just the tiniest bit of glisten to, the card, and I just think it's a fun detail. Next, I'm going to add a cute little clay heart to my mailbox. I really wanted to add a clay heart, and I felt like this was the best place for it. I just feel like it's super cute and it fits it just perfectly. And now we can get into adding a few more of my favorite embellishments, some of these Trinity Stamps snowflakes. Again, these are some of my favorite embellishments. If you haven't been following me for a while, you'll know. And I have really got to get stocked back up on these. Every time I go to purchase more, they're sold out. So I am hoping that next time I can catch that and I won't miss out. But again, these are some of my favorite embellishments. I just think they're perfect. They're so cute and dainty, and they add just the right amount of detail and fun to any card. All right, now that I'm happy with my main panel on my card, we're going to get into adding the acetate overlay. Now, at the time that I created this card, I didn't have the tiny attacher from Tim Holtz, which I recently purchased because it is so cute, and it creates it, or it doesn't create, it has the tiniest little staples. So I just used my regular stapler, my home stapler. Excuse me, and it worked out just fine. It was a little bit big, but the ribbon that I used worked out fine. I didn't have any issues with that at all. So I just lined up my ribbon. I kind of offset it a little bit and used my stapler, and I just stapled it together and tied it in kind of like a generic bow. Not a bow, but a knot. And then before I got to this point, I had put glue on the back of my panel, not forgetting that I needed to add my acetate. So I had to like hold onto it really carefully with the glue on the back. Either way, it worked out just fine. So I'm just going to add that simple knot on here. And because this staple was so big, my knot didn't really kind of lay quite right. But I wasn't super concerned. I love the way that it looks in the end. It is really cute and kind of quirky. If I really wanted to change it, I probably could, but I'm not going to. It's still a really cute card, regardless of how the bow looks. So you can see here that I'm kind of fussing with it a little bit, just because I wasn't 100% sure I liked the way it was laying. But again, I was happy with it in the end. I tried to like add some glue to it so it would stay put. That didn't really work, but either way, I still think it's a cute card. So you're going to see here that I'm kind of fiddle with that bow for quite a while. But again, I just left it be. Next, I've got my greeting here, which I cut twice. I didn't stamp it twice, but I cut the little banner twice so that whenever you lift up the acetate, you're not going to see all that glue and adhesive on the back of my greeting. So I'm going to put this other piece on the back side of that one so that you can't see that kind of yucky adhesive. Now you could leave it if it doesn't bother you, but it kind of bothered me a little bit. So I love how this turned out. It is so, so sweet. And it's so easy to do. If you just want to add something simple to, dress up a card, you can with these acetate overlays. They're so much fun. And that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the content that I'm bringing to you. Also, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video today with this fun acetate overlay with some wonderful products from Mama Elephant. I can't wait to share with you guys the next couple of cards I've got coming your way, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again real soon. Bye!
On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.